Hello, welcome to Living Simply Fun, and I'm Aaron. And I'm actually rather disturbed by a comment from somebody who watched our channel. And this is basically in reply to you, Cigar Addict. Now, you seem to think that we live too well for people who are disabled and that we shouldn't have a TV because you can't afford a TV. Now, here's the thing. It took two of us 6 months of watching basically a dead TV that was black and white, and we could barely see it. In fact, we didn't have a TV for the most part during that time. What we did do is we ended up saving up our money for several months. Two of us. Okay? Two. This was saving about $60 a month. Then we waited until the TV went on sale. When it went on sale, we put it on layaway, and we did our best to pay it off between two people. All right, now that's like, and the price of the TV dropped to something like $500 or something like that. I think Rita gave the original price in the video as like $760, which is about the original price. But $500 between two people over the course of 6 months. Okay, you do the math. I can't do it in my head right now. I haven't been feeling well today. I've had a seizure again, and the seizure took a lot out of me. Okay, it was $750, and the other TV was 18 years that we had it. All right, 18. This one, we've already had it now something like 2 years. No, just about a year. And it's been good to us so far. But TVs are expensive, but they're not as expensive as they used to be. All right? Now, you may say you can't afford a TV. I'm sorry, but you can afford a TV. It's just that you don't want to afford a TV. You've decided to stick your money in other things. You probably have a car and some car insurance. You know what? We walk everywhere. We're not in the best shape, but we walk everywhere. Why? I have a seizure disorder. I can't drive. Rita, on the other hand, she only has one eye, essentially, and can't see out of it, and she needs closed captioning. Did you know that she can't read closed captioning on a little TV that big? How you try to read closed captioning on a little TV that big? You're not going to be able to do it. You know, and therefore, we don't even have cable. We end up watching our basic antenna. We're still on an antenna, okay? We have the basic, cheapest internet you can possibly get. We have no cable whatsoever. We don't have a phone. We don't have cell phone plans. And we don't have a car to take care of. You know what? Our neighbor's supposed to be disabled, by the way. They end up having a giant box from Amazon brought in every week. They drive Escalade. They also have another caddy. And they have 3 kids that they're taking care of. And neither one of them seems to work. Now, they're the type that I think you're complaining about. On the other hand, I have a pretty severe seizure disorder with an average of 1 seizure roughly per week that usually leaves me bedridden Sorry about that. That usually leaves me bedridden for 2 to 3 days, and it's unpredictable. If I had a job and I end up having one of these seizures, I'm not going to be back at work for 2 or 3 days, and if I'm having one a week, then I can end up missing almost the entire month's worth of work, and how am I going to afford to live on that? All right, ask yourself that. On top of that, if people yell at me and scream at me, or threaten me, intimidate me, or harass me, which unfortunately most bosses tend to use intimidation tactics, I have a tendency to black out, in which I end up having self-harm. I have scars literally all over my arms, back, legs, chest, everything. I can't help it, and the doctors don't know exactly what to do with it. On top of that, I have a heart condition. So I got all these problems stacked up, and it usually keeps me bedridden most of the week. You tell me how I'm supposed to be working, okay? And what do you think? Anyways, Rita's trying to tell me that you just comment on something else. You believe that we don't know anything about cigars. You know what? We've never claimed that we know a lot about cigars. In fact, I'm one of the first to actually sit there and admit that I'm a beginner smoker and I really don't know much about the cigars. I don't pick up the flavors of it. So I admit that I am a beginner. In fact, our videos are aimed at beginners But you know what? We can enjoy the cigars that we have, and usually we buy them cheap. When we do get something nice, it's usually out of a sampler that we paid very little for. We pay never any more than $30 a month for our cigars, maybe 40. I think because it was my birthday this month, I actually spent about $59 on my cigars, and I cut out other things I wanted. You understand that people ridicule us over our videos because you cannot seem to pronounce anything correctly. Well, it seems you can't spell anything or use proper grammar. Sorry. Seem to pronounce anything correctly. Sorry, Rita does have a problem pronouncing things because she's learning disabled. Alright? I'm sorry, but you have to bear with the person who's learning disabled. And me, I actually pronounce things pretty well because I'm actually very well educated. My problems happen to be seizure, heart, and blackouts. Alright? Her problems happen to be brain functionality, learning comprehension, and spelling and pronunciation. So you want to go after her for her pronunciation. It's nice that you're able to make fun of people with a learning disability. You get the names wrong, the rappers, and I'm sure I am forgetting something else you cannot pronounce right. Yes, you know what? I also don't speak Spanish. I am not fluent in Spanish. I live in a Spanish community, but I do not know how to speak Spanish. If something is R-E-L-O-J, I'm going to pronounce it reloge. I don't know if that's the proper pronunciation, but I'm not going to pronounce it reloge or anything like that. I'm going to try to pronounce it to the best of my ability, and that is what I do. Okay, tradición. I know that's probably correct, but I don't speak Spanish. So you want to go after some people who don't speak a foreign language, then that's fine. You know, just keep it to yourself and stop acting like you're all high and mighty and you know what you're doing here. Because I understand, maybe you're this well educated that you happen to know 42 languages off the top of your head and can pronounce all of them fluently. I mean, 99% of America can. It's just me and Rita can't. She's learning disabled, and I don't speak Spanish. So, when you do review a cigar, you talk nothing in regards to flavor, body, and profile. Okay, first of all, I don't know what's required about profile of a cigar. What it looks like, side profile, it's brown. It's a cigar. You know, nothing about flavor. Most people, in my opinion, and professionally, I don't think people understand what they're talking about when they say cigar flavors anyways. I've noticed many cigars, based on where you buy them, have different directions of what it tastes like. I've seen some say this is peppery, while others say this is leathery, while others say this has cabbage scent. Alright? I'm sorry, I'm throwing something in there. That's my humor. Alright? If you want to take my humor as seriousness, that's fine. Alright? Now, the thing here is that I can't pick up what leather is. You know what? Have you ever gone and sucked on a leather glove to sit there and say, does this taste like my cigar? Oh, yes, it tastes like motor oil. No, that's Lafrague, which is a bottle of scotch that tastes like motor oil. But anyways, here's my point. Have you ever gone and chewed hay? Have you picked up some cud and just chewed it and been like, yes, my cigar tastes like that? You know what? I've actually chewed hay. Hay tastes nothing like any cigar I have ever had. I've had earthy notes where it actually does kind of have the flavor of dirt, but that's only been on one cigar, and that was the Warlord from Gurkha, which we got dirt cheap when we got it. I've noticed very little in the way of chocolate scent or espresso. It seems to be the bitter flavors, and the sweet flavors and other distinct flavors aren't there. It's just kind of slightly bitter on the back of the mouth and barely even noticeable. But you know what? If you want flavors and stuff, then start watching somebody else's reviews, okay? Stop watching ours because obviously you know more than we do and you enjoy, you're getting more information from others. We're not here to bring you information. We're here to say what it is to be a beginner. Alright? Somebody who doesn't know how to distinguish the cigars. What's good? What's decent? You know what? There's certain ones we love and certain ones we don't like. Anyways, that's enough of that. You're talking about the body of it. The body, okay. You know what? I've had a cigar that was supposed to be mild that I figure was full body because it was very strong in flavors and everything. And then I've had a cigar that was so mild that I sat there and wondered if I even had a cigarette, but it was listed as full body. So again, talking about body, I even wonder if the cigar makers, including Cigar Aficionado, know what the hell they're talking about when they tell you what the flavors are. Alright? To me, most of the time, a cigar tastes like a cigar. What is the differences between the cigar and a standard cigar? I try to base things off of what I've found to be kind of a mediocre point. You watch your videos for pure amusement, and you're both morons, and the beautiful thing is you don't even realize it. Carry on, make videos. I encourage you to do so. Since you live off my taxes, I should at the very least be able to watch your videos and laugh my ass off. You know what? I'm glad you can laugh your ass off. Laughing your ass off is a good thing. It probably makes us happy. Oh, and by the way, I noticed that you can afford a computer. We have a computer. It's a piece of crap computer, falling apart computer. It has a built-in webcam. It's 10 years old. We're probably going to have to buy a new computer, and I'm sure you'll be very upset when we do, because we shouldn't have things like that. But you'll miss us. You'll love us. The thing that I'm trying to say here, though, buddy, is that we're not living high off the hog, and we don't need to live like the ideas of a church reformatory dormitory or a monastery, where we're living in a simple 4x8 room with a cot in it, an end table with a kerosene lantern on it, and one simple cross nailed against the wall, and one book in our entire place, and being happy for it, living off of ramen noodles. I'm sorry, that's actually unfair, and it should be considered cruel and unusual punishment. I know people in prison who actually have more than that, but that's beside the point. I know people who think that I should be living in a place like, there's a place in downtown Seattle where there's no doors on any of the little dorms, and there is nothing but a cot, and if you want a door, the best you can do is hang up a curtain, and you can't very well keep people out of your stuff, and most of the time your clothes even go missing. But that's another story, too. That is not the way to treat American people. Here in the community that we're in currently, we've complained of, if you want to talk about complaining about food, we've complained about the grocery store here because I got kicked out because I have a service dog that assists me with knowing when I'm going to have a seizure so that I don't fall and whack my head on the ground and end up giving myself a concussion while biting off my tongue. Okay? That is the purpose of Moppy. He's my service dog. He also keeps me from blacking out, walking around town while dripping blood all over the place, and I've been told that sometimes I walk as if I'm a zombie. Well, could you imagine if you're a cop and you see somebody walking down the street pouring blood all over the place who's unresponsive to you? What do? You tell them to freeze, they don't freeze. Next thing you do, you shoot or tase. Because I have a seizure problem and a heart problem, a tase could end up killing me. So, and if I get shot, it's a good chance that the cop's going to kill me. And even though I know the cops in this town, you still kind of get worried. The cops in this world anymore are kind of jumpy and afraid of what somebody might do. So they react first and ask questions later. I'm sorry, I need my service dog. So when we've bitched and moaned about food, we've complained about the food bank having rotten food, which is why we stopped going to the food bank. We've complained about the DSHS offering only $15 to a person who brings in about $700 because, heck, $700, my rent's almost $300. So right there, I got only $400 left. My food bill each month is about $200. You know, now I'm at only $200 left, and I got a $50 electric bill almost on average per month. So I got about $150 left that I can do anything with. All right, and since Rita Hayes has the internet, I actually give her about $30 a month towards the internet, and we don't have a phone. So I got about $100 left a month. I put about 30 to 40 in cigars, and the other 50, 60 I tend to save until I need something like a computer or something, because you never know when you're going to have something break down. So you want to talk about living outside my means. I live on about $100 a month. I keep money around in case I end up needing jeans. I keep money around in case I end up needing socks or clothes. I'm always well clothed. So I don't think I'm all that stupid, honestly. I actually keep very good track of my finances, what I need, what I have. I help Rita with hers because she's not always the best with money. But together we work things out, and that kind of is how we end up becoming such good friends anyways, as we take care of each other. She ends up needing something and doesn't have enough money. Sometimes I'll end up helping her out. Sometimes I am in a pinch and need help. We've complained about the health around here because our hospital's getting ready to close down, and I have a heart problem, and with the frequent blackouts and self-harm, I oftentimes need stitches, and I'll have nowhere to go for that anymore. And if I need stitches and it's bad enough, I could bleed out. This is kind of a scary situation for me. I can't afford to move. On top of that, there's no doctor in town that we can go to. If we happen to get sick, heck, if Ebola comes here, there's nowhere for us to go. Sorry, I use that as an example. It's a scary and frightening thing, and a lot of people are afraid of it at this point. But the thing is that we have nowhere to go for medical. We don't drive. There's only one grocery store in the area. All the food there lately has been kind of questionable. They have cheese right there that they're selling that's 10 days expired, and they're selling it for only $1 off at like $7.98 for a 1 pound block. I'm sorry, it's expired. It shouldn't even be sold even at $4 cheap. Our food bank shouldn't have anything sold there that's expired. Well, they don't sell, but given out there that's expired. This is disgusting. The grocery stores are supposed to make donations. What the grocery stores have been doing is they're taking expired food and selling it to the food bank, who then ends up giving it out. The food bank is buying that food, and the food bank shouldn't be buying food that's expired, and the grocery store shouldn't be offering food that's expired to a place to give it to poor people. It's almost as if the communities are attempting to kill the poor and indigent. Sorry, my language is bad. There goes my pronunciation. Anyways, I'm not mad at you. I'm not angry at you. There's a lot of people out there who don't understand and get very angry. We had a very good friend named Sierra who ended up removing us because she couldn't afford a TV herself, even though she had a job that she was working that was bringing in probably almost $1,900 a month. How could she not afford a TV? That's less than 1/3 of the cost of her, at the rate that we ended up paying, 1/3 the cost of her entire paycheck per month. She was living with her mom and dad. Well, her dad, sorry, her parents are split. But she was living with her dad. The problem is that she decided to go and lease a brand new pickup truck at nearly $400 or $500 a month, and she had all these other outstanding bills. She couldn't even afford an apartment for herself. I'm sorry, that's what you call overspending. You live within your means. You spend what you can. If you want to overspend and then say you don't have enough money for something, that's not my problem. Anyway, she ended up removing us as friends, telling us to screw off, and said she didn't want to see us ever again. Another friend of ours ended up getting very pissed off because we ended up having steak at the park one time. Well, I'm sorry, did she understand that the steak that I got was actually discounted at $1.98 a pound, and it was a Desmio steak? It's not like we were sitting there enjoying a nice fine filet mignon, being like, oh yeah, it's too bad you can't have any, we're Richie's. I'm sorry, no, we weren't eating filet mignon and caviar with lobster and cream cheese, okay? We were sitting there and we were eating Desmio steak, which, if you know anything about Desmios, it's a rather tough cut of meat. It's usually about $3.98 to $4.98 a pound, and usually used by for carne asada and other things where you slice it into pieces before frying it. You know what? I barbecued it. I made it taste good because I have a good steak recipe. Now, I quit cigarettes because cigarettes were too expensive. I was spending almost $50 a month on cigarettes. When I quit cigarettes, I ended up putting part of that money into smoking cigars because it's part of what helped me get over smoking cigarettes. So that's part of why I end up smoking them. And yes, I thoroughly enjoy them, but you know what? I still don't understand how so many of these reviewers are sitting there. I'm picking up hints of pomegranate in this. I bet you some of these people have never even tried a pomegranate in their life. I actually had a cigar, though, recently that the smoke off of it reminded me of Cheerios. Now, I guarantee that wouldn't happen to everybody. Why I smelled Cheerios, I don't know. In fact, I can't even remember the cigar right now. But what I'm trying to say, though, is that we do our reviews for fun. We got pressured into continuing the reviews. In fact, I stopped the reviews because I got tired of people yelling at me that I wasn't including videos of the cigar being smoked. I can't smoke in my apartment. It's subsidized, And even at subsidy, I end up paying far more than I should. It's more than a third. So I really don't understand that. But anyways, living in this apartment, we can't smoke, so I can't sit there on camera. And actually, with the winter coming up, the videos are probably going to get less and less because it's too cold to go outside. And we had some rainy time, and you can't very well smoke a cigar out in the rain while it's pouring. So our videos are going to be cut down for the winter. Rita will probably do quite a few holiday videos. She always does holiday videos. In fact, I've been rather camera shy lately. And do I think I'm intelligent? Yes, actually, I do think that I'm intelligent. I don't think that I'm much of a moron, but you know what? I don't try to keep myself educated on everything anymore. In fact, so oftentimes I'm trying to figure out things because this person's saying that, that person's saying that, and I'm tired of doing the research on everything. I'm one person who actually sits there and says, does this make sense? Like the other day, I ended up seeing a post from somebody that said the Cato Institute had come up with an idea or a thing that says that people on the welfare system are making more than people who work minimum wage, which I ended up doing enough research on that to find it's bull. First of all, people on TANF, which is the emergency funding or emergency cash section of welfare, which is actually only temporary, and most of the people who are on it are actually people awaiting a hearing on disability. But most of the people who TANF usually only pays about $300 to $400 a month at most. Okay. You get more actually probably through SSI and SSD. Now, when it comes to food stamps, the average person doesn't usually get more than $150 to $250. If you're getting TANF, you're probably going to get the full $250. Most people don't qualify for WIC. Most people who have temporary welfare, they usually get Medicaid, but they also are usually healthy enough they don't need the Medicaid, so they never use it. And this is actually something that they were discussing, saying that all 65 million recipients of food stamps are also getting TANF, which is utter crap. They're saying that those 65 million are also getting women, infants, and children, and mostly single women with 2 children. The thing didn't hold gel, and I did a lot of research on it. I ended up reading about 12 to 15 different websites on it. I ended up going to the welfare offices and looking at base values or average values of what people can expect to get, etc. I haven't been on welfare for several years, but I did work for a long time in my life before I started having the seizure disorder and the mental disorders that I have. When I was on welfare temporarily, I actually only brought in $320, and that was the maximum I qualified for. So I don't understand where Cato was getting it, and I knew it was utter crap. So I had to do a lot of research, and then I had to offer the information. I'm sorry if this is ad-libbed, the video here, and so I'm not sitting there looking at a piece of paper with a script on it that's been pre-written and all my facts checked so that I can give you exact 100% facts with quotations and where they come from. I'm not organized like that, okay? I don't even know how to edit a video because I never tried to bother to learn. However, when it comes down to things, I took an ASVAB test. You know what the ASVAB is? The ASVAB is the military entry test. I actually got a perfect on it, okay? That is not something a lot of people do. In fact, I actually had to take the test 4 different times in front of various different people because they were afraid I'd figured out a way to cheat. And in fact, all 4 tests I got a perfect on. My grade point average in high school was about a 3.6, and my IQ's been tested at about 165 to 170. I do have a mild speech impediment, which sometimes affects my pronunciation as well. At least that's what I've been told. I actually had a speech counselor in 5th, 6th grade, and I just quit going to it. I was put in another class instead for possibly troubled children, because my mother was abusive and I was from a single father household. So anyways, this has gone on 24 minutes. I was rather angry when I first read it, but you have a point to your opinions, and I understand that. And I want you to understand that no, we're not living outside our means, and we barely scrape by, but we don't have any outstanding bills, and we're doing very well for ourselves. In fact, I keep all my receipts. just so I can prove that if ever I need to, that I am living within my means and not spending unwisely. As I said, I always have proper clothes. I don't wear anything with holes in it. I always take showers. I always have soap and shampoo. I always have toilet paper. I never go hungry. I don't think I look like I go hungry. I do take care of my health for the most part. I don't have a dentist because there's no dentist in this area that'll work on me. And I have severe dental problems that are probably going to kill me faster than my other problems. I forgot to mention that. In fact, most nights I can't sleep because of the amount of pain in my jaw. But that's, again, beside the point. Before you end up going next time and blowing your stack at someone and using vulgarity, do remember that you don't necessarily always know the story of the person. We try to put our story out there, but most of what we do is talk about how to live on a budget and enjoy your life. And you know what? For the most part, a television is almost a necessity because for me, I need to keep my mind active. Otherwise, I can cause myself to black out. And so a lot of what I do is video games and stuff. And I need to keep my mind active. My nose is always buried in a book or watching something on TV. And by the way, talking about books, I have to buy my books because I was kicked out of the library due to the fact that my service dog was a health code violation. Also, on top of that, they belittled me, yelled at me, and told me that the library didn't need to spend money on the type of books I was interested in. So, and the type of books I'm interested in is reading things like Archimedes and, whatever I can get my hands on, Plutarch, etc. Sorry, I don't have a ton of names right in front of me, and a lot of them are rather obscure writers through rhetoric, etc. Cynics, etc. I do a lot of ho-humming because I'm trying to think of my thoughts. Anyways, just in the future, if you're going to say something to somebody, try to be a little nicer about it. That's all I'd ask from you. What you did, Mr. Cigar Addict, is you ended up using vulgarity probably where you shouldn't have. I understand that you work for a living and that you work hard for a living and that you think that I shouldn't be living as well as you are, or that I shouldn't have anything that you think I shouldn't have. And if you actually saw the type of way that we live, every bit of furniture in my apartment is a hand-me-down. I have a hand-me-down couch. I don't have a bed. I have a hand-me-down love seat, a wire rack that I found in the garbage, which I keep my TV on. My TV, by the way, is a 27-inch. I have a bookshelf that I found in the garbage. I have a desk that was given to me by the management company here when they were getting rid of it. My pots and pans came from a neighbor that moved out. I literally, seriously have nothing really that I bought myself except for my TV. My TV is, by the way, 10 years old now. It works fine for my needs. And my computer's mine, but my computer's finally on its last legs too. I have a Dell laptop, unlike Rita who has an HP laptop. My Dell's about 6 years old now. And it's also got a built-in webcam that's not even as good as this one. But, of course, I'm going to have to get a laptop soon. And I should be getting a phone due to the fact that I have a heart problem, and so does Rita. But neither of us have one, so if we have a heart attack, there's no way that we're going to be able to contact EMS. And besides that, they'd have to take us 45 miles away now. That's just life, okay? Rita is trying to learn how to fly fish. She's been getting a lot of books on fly fishing. She's been reading books from the library. And I got her a fly rod because she was angry at me for something. And I wanted to make it up for her. So I ended up putting it on layaway and was paying $20 a month for it. For about, it was 8 months. So 8 months, and I was able to get her a fly rod so she can learn to fly fish. So I put myself maybe in the poorhouse for this, and ended up cutting myself back to $30 a month roughly that I could set aside for myself in case of emergency, and I was doing cigars at the same time. But, you know, anyways, I'm just trying to say that sometimes we aren't living, how should I say it? Sometimes what seems like we're living outside our means, you have to understand that we're, in some ways, Rita's like a child, and she needs a TV to be able to see, and she needs to be able to read the captioning, or because she's got hearing problems, she's got vision problems. She can read a book if she holds it close, and for watching TV, she needs to have large enough print on the screen. A little screen just doesn't cut it for her. So it's a medical condition is the reason why we had to go with the larger screen, even though maybe we shouldn't have been able to afford it. Alright? And I helped out, and I helped with the budgeting, because that's the type of person I am. And, you know, I don't know. All I want to say is, you know, maybe you don't understand everything that goes on in somebody's life, and you want to seem like we're living outside our means and telling us that we're effing bastards that shouldn't be having these things. And, you know, I don't have it right in front of me to quote you exactly, but you really lit into us, and you probably shouldn't have. People who know us know that we live within our means. People who know us personally know that we don't have enough, but we make do. And we do our videos, and we do them sitting here smiling. We do them being happy. We do them enjoying who we are and what we have. We like to bring to you what we can. Oh, and we're second-class citizens. You need to learn your place. You know what? No citizen should be treated the way that me and Rita are, honestly. In this town, I have literally one restaurant I can go to at Subway. Every other restaurant I've been thrown out of because of my service dog, for the most part. McDonald's, the two pizza places. No, West Side Pizza I can go to. The Granary, one of the places here in town, also kicked me out. I have one grocery store I can go to that sells a lot of expired food and doesn't even have a lot of selection. I can't ride the bus. I can't go to the library. There are two secondhand stores I can't go into, plus the Habitat for Humanity thrift shop. The food bank gives away only expired food. I literally have nowhere I can go for anything except for basic groceries. And one gas station out of 4 gas stations in this, or 5 gas stations in this town that I can actually go to if I need to buy something like a soda or an energy drink, which I try not to do because I can't really afford them. I make my cuts and stuff where I can. So, you wanted to call us second-class citizens and tell us to learn our place. You know, that's just not right. I'm not where I am because I want to be. I'm where I am because of a medication that caused my seizure disorder. A doctor took me off of it abruptly, and it was antidepressant, but it also works as a seizure med for people who have seizures, and a serious but rare side effect of suddenly quitting it is causing seizures. I got it. The blackout problem was due to the fact that I went through so much abuse as a child that I just can't handle the abuse, and I literally have a breakdown and I dissociate. That's what they call it, a dissociative fugu. And that scares me when it happens because I have no clue of what happened. In fact, when I have a seizure, I usually have no memory of what happened. I'm just exhausted for several days. So, you know, second-class citizen, I didn't do anything to deserve to be this way. In fact, I'd be working for a living and maybe doing better than you are if I didn't have the problems that I have. On top of that, I have heart problems, and about the only thing I was good for when I was able to work was physical lifting. And now I can't lift anything. I can't be as active as I used to be because I walk 10 feet and I start having chest pains. Doctors won't do anything about it. Do I deserve that? No. No, I don't. Does that make me a second-class citizen? Like I'm some piece of crap that should be sitting in a sewer somewhere, living in a sleeping bag, eating rat meat? And that's not right either. Yeah, I have feeling that this world doesn't have any compassion or caring for fellow mankind anymore. It's all about the selfishness of me, 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 gimme, 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 gimme. And, you know, maybe I'm guilty of that too to a point. I feel I should have more because I feel that the doctors are letting me die, that the doctors don't want to do anything for me. But you know what? If you continue to sit there and say that we're utter pieces of garbage and you want to use your vulgarities and profanities, just be content in knowing that within the next 5 years, neither me nor Rita will probably be here anymore. And will be off your precious system and off your precious money. Because I understand how precious that is. You know, when I worked minimum wage, I didn't even care about the Social Security I was paying. It didn't matter to me. I didn't even think about it. In fact, I was glad to pay it to help people out who needed it. And I thought, you know what, it's not going to be there for me when I get older. But if it is, hey, that's great. But, you know, some people out there, they think that they're $15 a month. In fact, I remember that certain paychecks of mine, I only had about $20 a month going to Social Security. And that was out of my full paycheck for the month. I didn't care. I didn't care. I could go back to my old records. I didn't have that much coming out to Social Security. Yeah, perhaps if I was making $100,000 a year, I might have $5,000 or $6,000 coming out for Social Security. But you know what? At $100,000, I wouldn't care if I was losing $4,000 or $5,000 a month for Social Security. Well, $100,000 a month. Sorry. It wasn't enough to really worry about. Okay. Your little donation doesn't even probably pay me 2 cents. All right. But anyways, that's all I gotta say. I don't want to keep going with this. It's been 36 minutes, and I'm sorry you feel the way that you do. And I just want to say, I don't know. I'd like to say grow up, but I don't want to be rude like that. So maybe you need a little soul searching, or maybe you need to realize that not everything is as it seems. Some people, they smile, they laugh, they joke, and inside they hurt, and inside they're dying, and inside they're a shell of a person that you really don't understand because they're just trying to live the best life they can. And that's where I am. In fact, I smile when I'm hurting. I don't want people to know that I'm hurting. I don't want people to know that I'm in the pain that I'm in. Okay? I feel it's important to tell you because I didn't like your attitude. And it's not that I'm making this stuff up. I can, you know, if you ever wanted to, you can come out here and have the doctors tell you. They'll tell you the same thing. I can't, you know, I am in pain. I can't work. And I don't have anything except for the video games I have, and I'm on a TV that's got a big green spot in the corner. It actually gets in the way of my games. I got a computer that half the time I go to boot it up and I still got a black screen. I got to press the on-off button 5 or 6 times, and sometimes it shuts off on me for no reason. The computer's dying. There's no doubt about it. My CD-ROM drive clunks even if there's no CD in it. So I don't know what more to say. Thanks for watching our channels, and again, I'm very glad that at least we can make you laugh, even if it's our own misery, and the fact that we try to hide it by being goofy sometimes and being funny. And, you know, maybe we should just stop being goofy, funny people, and we should just be miserable, depressed pieces of crap that live half our lives on the verge of tears, wishing that we would just die already, okay? So, thanks for your comments. They really made my day.